Good morning. Today I am taking on the pacer test. For those of you that don't know,
The Fitness Gram Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test
used in gym classes to measure aerobic fitness, and it can also be used to approximate VO2 max. So today I will be doing it, seeing how many little turns I can get to. I've done the pacer test a couple times. I've never really gone all out, but my best score is 92. Today I have 3 goals. Number 1 is to set a PR. Number 2 is to pass 100. And number 3 is to beat Spencer, who has done the pacer test a few times, and his best score is 135. So if I can get 136, I will be the best pacer test performer in the household, which would be huge. We have measured out the 20 meters. I'm gonna warm up and then we'll get going.
My prediction for Allie is that she's going to get 121. She's pretty competitive.
Beat Spencer.
So I think she'll do pretty well, but it sneaks up on you really quickly, so it's not that easy.
I'm all warmed up. It's time to get this music going.
The Fitness Gram Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult
All right.
as you continue.
I guess I'll get to my starting position.
Test will begin on the word start. Get ready, start.
The beginning of the pacer test starts out really slow, and the hardest part for me was just finding a rhythm that got me to the 20 meters in the right amount of time so that I wouldn't have to stop and then just start all over again for the next 20 meters. However, I really wasn't able to do that, and I ended up just running kind of a normal pace and then stopping and waiting for the beep. I don't know if that was the most efficient way to do things, but it's what happened. The other hard part is that there was construction near the track, so it was a little bit hard for me to hear the beeps.
Go, go. Your score is 8.
Spencer was trying to get me DQ'd because he's clearly threatened by me, but after that, I did a good job of perking my ears up and making sure to hear all of the beeps. The pacer test is a progressive fitness test, but it doesn't get faster every single time you take a turn. There are different levels that range from 7 to 14 shuttles per level. Once you hit a new level, that's when the pace increases. So it's a little bit complicated, but basically the pace increases once every minute or so. At this point, the turns were definitely still the hardest part for me, and the pace was really not hard to hit.
Little false start there.
Spencer continued to show how he was threatened by my absolutely lethal performance potential on the pacer test. But meanwhile, I was starting to get into a good rhythm, and the pace was picking up to the point where I was just doing a quick little turn every time and able to not really stop at the
You
end.
feeling it at level 41?
42.
Even in these early stages of the test, I could tell that my heart rate was higher than it would normally be at this pace just because of all the turning.
Halfway there.
Even though my heart rate was high, I don't really feel like this is the best test of aerobic capacity because there are definitely power and agility components with all the turning and acceleration and deceleration required to be good at this test. So there are definitely more accurate ways to measure
New level.
aerobic capacity in VO2 max, but this is still fun to do, especially because it's so commonly used across the world. There are 2 different types of pacer tests that are commonly used. There's the 15-meter pacer and the 20-meter pacer. The one I'm doing today is the 20-meter pacer, but I would also love to try the 15-meter pacer at some point if people are interested.
Bit of a cheat every time.
Spencer is literally so intimidated by how easy I look in the mid-60s right now. He's doing anything he can to get me DQ'd.
Well, not really.
And once his DQ tactic failed, then he just tried to get negative energy in my head.
You're starting to rig. It's getting a little hard. 6 to 7.
I'll tell you, he'll do anything.
6 and 9.
I knew I had to be at my absolute best to beat Spencer, which is why I want to take a minute to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Kion. This year I struggled with energy and muscle recovery, so I decided to start taking essential amino acids. Kion essential amino acids has all 9 essential amino acids in the perfect ratio that's ideal for your body and your recovery. I decided to start taking EAAs once a day, every night before bed on days that I run, cross-train, or even just rest. EAAs are shown to be 6 times more effective than whey protein in stimulating muscle protein synthesis, so that's why I've been taking Kion aminos before bed to help my muscles recover overnight. Kion aminos is a super reliable brand because it's vegan, non-GMO, third-party tested, and sugar-free. It also has super transparent ingredients, so you know exactly what you're getting. It also tastes great and is so refreshing. Thank you to Kion for sponsoring this video. You can scan the QR code on screen or click the link in my description to get 20% off Kion Aminos. And there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Back to the test, and I'm at the point where the pace is starting to get a little bit more brisk and the turns are getting quicker.
How do you feel?
Now, the women's world record for the 20-meter pacer is unclear, but it's probably around level 15. Right now, I was about to get to level 9, and I was feeling like maybe that was a possibility for me. But then, disaster struck.
Another level.
Level 9.
Level 9 complete.
With the Amex Gold card?
Oh no, there's an ad.
An ad came on during the pacer test YouTube video, so I just decided to keep running, keep that rhythm, and keep running at the same pace that I had been until eventually Spence had time to skip the ad and I could move on.
You just gotta keep going right now.
So I continued doing shuttles, but we weren't counting any of these as part of the pacer test. It was just bonus distance. I think I kept going the same pace or faster, but because of when the ad came on, I got a little bit out of sync with the beeps. So I sped up and tried to get myself back in sync with those, and it took me a few beeps, but I did eventually manage to do it. I think that this is totally fair, and if anything, it was a disadvantage to me. But if you guys think that this completely invalidates the test, please let me know in the comments.
87.
I feel like I was just working extra hard here, and I never stopped, so
88.
it seems legit to me. But regardless of the legitimacy of this test, the pace was definitely legit at this point. I was nearing 90 shuttles and was definitely starting to feel that it was a little bit hard. In my head, I was like, I still have 45 to go until I get to Spencer. But I was passing my previous PR and my second goal of 100 shuttles, which was very exciting, and I finally felt like I was to the meat of this test,
100.
where I was actually being tested, and it was a little bit hard. At this point, the pace was fast enough where I was just running to the other end, turning and running straight back the other way, and I wanted to run the correct pace to get there in time to turn, but I didn't want to miss any turns, so it was a little bit stressful, and I was really wishing that I had someone else in this, because I feel like doing a shuttle in school or something, you're surrounded by other people, and it's really helpful to be able to pace off of each other, but doing it alone is kind of a weird feeling because it's all riding on my shoulders, whether or not I can complete these shuttles successfully and beat Spencer's score. That's a lot of pressure. But that pressure was currently making diamonds as I continued to click off these shuttles and get closer and closer to being the superior pacer test completer in the household. So my confidence was soaring and I thought I'd be able to take down Spencer for sure. But then the next level change hit and the pace increased.
18. And level 12.
With this new pace, I was really riding the line and I was barely getting to the end in time to turn and head the other way. And I might have even not been getting there before the beep. I felt like I was, but Spencer thought I was cheating, of course.
That's a strike.
I definitely felt like I was making it in time, and I would have stopped if I didn't think it was legit, but I'll let you guys weigh in and see what you think about this. However, either way, I was barely getting there on time, and this pace was definitely the brink of what I could run, but I only needed 10 more shuttles to be able to beat Spencer, so I was highly motivated to continue on. So I kept turning and accelerating and decelerating and working to get to those shuttles on time, but I did feel like some of my turns were starting to get a little bit slower from fatigue, and at this point I felt like I missed one of the turns right here. And so because of that, I was like, if I make the next one, I can keep going, but then I missed that one too.
Like 129, I believe, which is close to Spencer, but not quite. So a little disappointing, but you know what? For my first time really trying at the pacer test, I feel like it went pretty well. Took me a while to get in the groove, but once I did, you know, we were rolling. We did hit an ad in the middle of that because I don't have ad block on, you know? I like to give creators their ad revenue, but I kept running during the ad and then we just restarted the count once the video was back up. So I ran a little bit extra, but I don't really think it affected me. I'll calculate what that VO2 max means right here. And with that, that's all for now, folks.